That happened also with the mugging in 2018. So Gatis and I met in July 2018, a few months after I found his channel. And I went to a meetup at the time because I started feeling so much healthier. And I contributed that directly to Gatis, even though I now know that he merely copies what Arjuna says, as well as doing these events that seemed very helpful, which was not his idea either. The start of our relationship in summer 2018, and then later that year in 2018, he was gonna record a video in the forest, and I was in the forest with him. I tied my shoelaces, and all of a sudden I was passed out, and I had no idea what happened. I woke up from that being incredibly confused. I couldn't even remember my own phone number, and that's really unlike me because I generally like to know people's phone numbers by heart rather than relying on a device just in case. So me not knowing my phone number was really weird to me, and I didn't know what happened. All I knew is that I got there with Gatis and then something happened to me. So I called the police because I was all alone in Berlin in a forest. I did not speak German at the time, and so they could hardly follow what I was saying. Then the ambulance came, and police as well, and I tried to explain as well as I could while being severely concussed. I was incredibly confused, and I apparently later turned out at the hospital could have died right then and there. And so that was basically the first attempted murder. I wanted to leave once I found out what happened, but because of the concussion, and I had to go somewhere. It was getting late that day, it was already starting to get dark. The police did not follow what I was saying. In the hospital, they did not follow what I was saying, and Gatis told me to quickly leave and not sign any of their forms. And all I wanted was to be somewhere safe and lay down. I felt like I might die still. So once it became clear that nobody was gonna help me there, I went with him, and he said, okay, let's take the bus and you come with me home. He said that he felt like he was no longer angry with me. And why was he angry? I know this sounds... I don't feel comfortable talking about this. However, there was no other given reason other than him saying that women always want somebody who is bigger. And I never said that. I never said anything of the sorts. So it was pure projection, and this to him was reason to almost kill me because that's my fault in his mind. So that's his little secret that he doesn't want people to hear. And I once said, when we had broken up and we still had contact in the first 3 months after, because I had hoped that my son would have a father. I never meant to not be together with the father of my child until it became clear that his violence extended towards our son, and I didn't care anymore how I would get out. I couldn't let him be near us anymore. He then took the birthday money that his mother had given to our son. And I had called the police already about that. And once again, I tried telling them also all the things he had done to us. And they said, okay, we'll check his criminal records. And they said like, okay, well, we can't do anything. And at the time, he also, he swore that he would make sure I lose my income, which he then did. And I was still on the waiting list for housing, so we couldn't move anytime soon. And I knew that he would just be able to find us. So I couldn't speak out or anything at the time because I knew he would just straight come back. And he was going to the US initially, so I tried to make use of the time while he was away to arrange that we would find a new home. And I had hoped that that would be sufficient to start over. And I was actually getting into a better health situation. Initially, once we did move in the summer of 2021, I was having help in households because I have had back issues and neck issues ever since the attack happened, because something happened to my spine at the time, because it was such a sudden attack. It was only treated in the start of 2022 fully. I then I no longer needed the help, the practical help I was getting through the social help, because of the time, and I could not keep up with doing the households alone and raising a child alone. And then I started actually getting better after the treatments, and so I had already asked the household help not to come back because it was hopefully not necessary anymore, and I wanted to do it, to be able to do it myself. And this was only about 3 months before I then got acid attacked. And it was a month before this happened that Gatis got a Bitcoin donation, supposedly for vegan events in Europe, which he was never gonna do, and he knew that already at the time. And I already feared that want to use it against me, or like, yeah, kill us. I didn't know exactly what, and it had been a bit quiet for months now, since he was at our door in the end of 2021, after we had been in a shelter, after he had been on my cameras with Catherine and Florian at the back of my fence, looking over. They had found my address through a private detective, and not even a month after we had moved in, we had to go into hiding. Then in 2022, I started feeling better after the treatments, and I was focusing on getting healthier, having everything done for the house as much as possible. And then also I was getting into the idea of starting my own business, and I had everything written out and planned, and that was starting to become more substantial. And then the attack happened shortly after. Then we had to move out of the house, and it was said that